I am 102 years old, and every night before sleep decides whether tomorrow arrives. People chase pills, routines, miracles, yet miss the quiet moment that kept me alive. Tonight I will tell you the single habit I never skip, the thought I release, and the promise I keep before closing my eyes, because calm endings build long lives, not luck, not money, not fear, ever, anywhere, always. I am 102 years old, and I say that slowly because age should be respected, not rushed. I have watched seasons repeat more times than I can count, and I have learned that life does not end because the body fails first, but because the mind refuses to rest. When people see me, they ask about diet, exercise, or medicine. Yet those questions never touch the real beginning of my longevity. My days were not perfect, and my years were not easy. I worked hard, lost people I loved, and made choices I would never repeat. Still, I am here. The secret did not arrive in the morning with motivation or at noon with productivity. It arrived every night quietly, when the world stopped asking for more. I learned early that sleep is not only for the body. Sleep is a negotiation with your thoughts. If you carry anger, regret, and fear into the dark, they bargain for your breath. Over decades, that bargain becomes expensive. I decided long ago to end each day gently, as if closing a door without slamming it. This decision changed how my heart rested, how my breathing slowed, and how my mornings returned. Longevity, in my experience, is not built by heroic efforts. It is built by consistent endings that tell your nervous system it is safe to let go. In the next part, I will explain why nightfall matters more than sunrise, and how I prepared my mind to forgive the day before sleep. Most people misunderstand where life slowly breaks down. They believe damage happens during hard work, stress, or tragedy, but that is only half the truth. The real damage happens later, when the body is tired but the mind refuses to stop. I learned this lesson the difficult way. In my younger years, I went to bed angry, worried, replaying conversations, imagining futures that never came. My eyes were closed, but my heart was running. Night after night, that tension stayed inside me. Over time, it showed itself through sickness, weakness, and exhaustion that sleep could not fix. That was when I understood something important. Night is not simply the end of a day. Night is where the body asks permission to repair itself. If the mind says no, the body obeys. Many people live long days but short nights. They carry unfinished emotions into bed like heavy luggage. I decided I would not do that anymore. I told myself that nothing from today was allowed to follow me into sleep unless it brought peace. This was not easy at first. Letting go felt unnatural. Worry feels productive even when it is destructive. But I practiced anyway. Over time, my body responded. My breathing deepened. My chest felt lighter. My mornings stopped feeling like survival and started feeling like continuation. I believe this is why I lived longer than many people stronger than me. They fought life all day and continued fighting it at night. I chose to end my days in surrender, not defeat, but acceptance. Tomorrow does not need a tired mind. It needs a rested one. Night became honest with me in a way daytime never was. During the day, noise distracts you from yourself. People talk, work demands attention, and movement hides emotion. At night, none of that exists. You lie still with nothing but memory and imagination, and both can be cruel if you allow them to lead. I noticed that on nights when my thoughts raced, my body felt older the next morning. My joints ached more. My chest felt tight and my spirit felt heavy before the sun even rose. That pattern repeated for years until I accepted that I was hurting myself without realizing it. I learned that the mind needs boundaries just like the body does. If you allow every regret and fear to enter bedtime, sleep becomes a battlefield instead of rest. So I created a rule for myself. When the day ended, judgment ended with it. I stopped arguing with the past in the dark. I stopped planning revenge, success, or perfection. I reminded myself that nothing meaningful could be fixed at night. Understanding this changed my relationship with sleep completely. I no longer feared silence. Silence became my signal that it was time to release control. Over time, my body learned that nighttime meant safety. My heart slowed naturally. My breath softened. Healing did not come from effort, but from permission. This is something modern life forgets. We exhaust ourselves with thinking when we should be recovering. I believe many lives are shortened not by hardship, but by refusing to rest emotionally when the body needs it most. The habit that changed everything for me was simple, but simplicity does not mean weakness. Before sleep, I always paused and created a small space between the day and the night. I did not rush into bed as if escaping something. I sat or lay down slowly and allowed my breathing to settle. I paid attention to the air entering my body and leaving it, not to control it, but to acknowledge that I was still here. Then I asked myself one quiet question that guided the rest of my life. What is one good thing that happened today? It did not have to be important. Some days it was only a smile, a warm drink, or the sound of birds outside. Other days it was survival itself. This question trained my mind to look for closure instead of conflict. Many people believe peace comes from fixing everything. I learned peace comes from choosing what to carry forward. When I focused on one good thing, my body responded immediately. My shoulders dropped, my jaw relaxed. My thoughts slowed down because they had direction. This moment became a signal to my nervous system that danger had passed. Over years, this habit rewired how my body approached rest. Sleep stopped being forced and started becoming natural. I stopped waking up tired even when life was hard. That is why I believe longevity is connected to how you end your day, not how you begin it. Nights teach the body whether life is safe or threatening. I taught mine that it was safe. Letting go before sleep was not about pretending life was perfect. My life was never perfect. I lost people I loved, faced failures I could not undo, and carried memories that still visit me. The difference was learning when to stop holding them. At night, I reminded myself that memory has its place, but bedtime is not where it belongs. I told myself that the past had already taken its time, and it did not deserve my night as well. This decision protected my body more than any medicine ever could. When you sleep while holding pain, your body stays alert as if danger is still present. Over years, that constant alertness wears organs down quietly. I saw it happen to people around me. They slept, but they never rested. I chose differently. Each night I gave myself permission to be unfinished. Problems did not need solutions at midnight. Grief did not need explanation. I learned that surrender is not weakness. Surrender is wisdom. When I released the day without solving it, my body finally trusted the dark. My heartbeat slowed, my breath deepened. Morning felt lighter, even when life remained heavy. This habit became my shield against stress and bitterness. I truly believe many people shorten their lives by insisting on carrying everything alone into the night. I survived by putting burdens down, one evening at a time, and allowing sleep to do what it was meant to do: repair, restore, and prepare me quietly for another sunrise. As years passed, I noticed something else that confirmed my belief. On mornings after peaceful nights, my body moved more easily. Pain did not disappear, but it softened. My appetite returned naturally, my mood stayed balanced, and my thoughts felt clearer. This taught me that sleep is not a pause in life, but an active partner in survival. Many people think aging is only about bones and muscles. I learned it is deeply connected to how often the body feels threatened. When you end every day in mental conflict, your body believes it must stay young and alert forever, and the tension eventually breaks it. I refuse to live that way. Before sleep, I spoke gently to myself as if guiding a tired child. I reminded myself that I had done enough for one day. I did not criticize my mistakes or demand improvement. I allowed completion without perfection. Over time, this changed how I aged. My face relaxed instead of tightening. My posture softened instead of collapsing. Even doctors were surprised by my condition. They measured numbers and strength, but they could not measure calm. Calm became my strongest medicine. I believe longevity is not about fighting time, but cooperating with it. Night after night, I showed my body that it did not need to defend itself from my own thoughts. That trust accumulated quietly across decades. While others chased energy, I protected recovery. That choice kept me walking, breathing, and waking up curious, long after many people my age had already grown tired of living. I also learned that forgiveness before sleep is not about other people. It is about protecting your own future. Many nights I had reasons to stay angry. People disappointed me, situations were unfair, and words could not be taken back. If I replayed those moments in bed, my body reacted as if the conflict was still happening. My chest tightened, my stomach turned, and sleep became shallow. So I created another rule for myself. Before sleeping, I forgave without discussion. I did not excuse behavior or erase truth. I simply decided that my body would not pay the price for someone else's actions. Forgiveness at night became an act of self-preservation. Over time, this habit changed how long stress stayed inside me. Instead of carrying anger for years, I carried it for hours at most. My immune system stayed strong because it was not constantly flooded by tension. I noticed my heart rate remained steady, my blood pressure stayed manageable, and my digestion improved. These things matter when you want to live beyond 100 years. People underestimate how deeply resentment damages the body. It keeps you alert when you should be resting and defensive when you should be healing. I refuse to let bitterness steal my nights. Each evening I reminded myself that tomorrow would arrive whether I forgave or not, but my body would arrive in better condition if I did. That understanding protected my sleep, preserved my strength, and kept my spirit light enough to continue living without feeling chased by yesterday. Another part of my nightly habit was learning to stop chasing tomorrow. Many people go to sleep thinking about what they must do, what they failed to do, and what they fear might happen. I did that once, and it slowly drained me. The future is heavy when you try to carry it into bed. I realized that planning belongs to daylight, not darkness. At night, the body needs certainty, not possibility. So before sleep, I told myself that tomorrow did not need my attention yet. I promised that I would face it when the sun arrived. This simple agreement brought deep relief to my nervous system. My mind stopped racing because it no longer had a job at night. Over years, this habit protected my heart and lungs from constant tension. I slept deeper and woke up steadier. My emotions became less reactive because they had space to reset. I noticed that people who worried endlessly about the future aged faster than those who trusted time. Wrinkles formed not only from years, but from fear. I chose trust instead. Trust that tomorrow would come whether I worried or not. Trust that rest was productive in its own way. By ending each day without dragging the future into my bed, I gave my body the message it needed most. You are safe right now. That message, repeated for decades, became a foundation for my long life. As my age passed 100 years, I became more certain that consistency matters more than intensity. I did not perform my nighttime habit perfectly every day, but I returned to it faithfully. Some nights my thoughts were louder. Some nights my body hurt more, but I still showed up for the ritual of release. This consistency taught my body what to expect. The human body loves patterns, especially patterns of safety. When night after night ends calmly, the body begins to repair itself more efficiently. Hormones balance better, inflammation settles, and the immune system works without interruption. I saw this in myself and in others who lived long lives. They were not extraordinary people, but they were gentle with their endings. I also noticed that many people quit caring for themselves when they felt tired or old. I did the opposite. The older I became, the more carefully I protected my nights. I treated sleep as sacred, not optional. I avoided arguments late in the evening and stepped away from troubling thoughts as soon as darkness arrived. This discipline was not strict, it was compassionate. I wanted to give my body the best chance to continue. Over time, this habit gave me resilience. Even when sickness appeared, recovery came easier. Even when grief returned, it stayed shorter. I believe long life is not a gift given once, but a decision renewed daily. Every calm night added a small brick to the structure of my years. After a century of living, those bricks became a foundation strong enough to carry me still. Now, at 102 years old, I understand that longevity is not about avoiding death, but about respecting life while it is here. The habit I practiced before sleep was never meant to make me live forever. It was meant to help me live well, one day at a time. Each night I closed my eyes without fear, without unfinished battles, and without carrying the weight of the world on my chest. That peace accumulated quietly, shaping my health more than any external effort ever could. If I could offer one message to anyone listening, it would be this: your nights are shaping your future more than your mornings. How you end the day teaches your body what to expect from life. Choose endings that are gentle. Choose rest over rumination. Choose forgiveness over tension. You do not need to fix everything before sleep. You only need to tell yourself that you have done enough for today. When you give your body permission to rest emotionally, it repays you with strength, clarity, and time. I am living proof of that. My years did not stretch because I fought harder than others. They stretched because I learned when to stop fighting. Tonight, when the world grows quiet, remember that your longest life begins with how calmly you let the day in.